Hello, Norwood Superstars! Let's get started with today's Norwood News newsletter edition for Friday, March 19, 2021. Please note at the top of every bulletin now, from this point onward for some time, we're going to have our new contact information. The phone number for the main office has changed to 443-809-7055, and our new fax number has changed to 443-809-7057. All right, let's get started with our upcoming dates. So for Tuesday, March 23rd, we're going to have a special area night, and we're going to go a little more into that. And there is a slight change from last week's newsletter, so you want to stick around for that. Wednesday, March 24th is going to be an asynchronous day for students. So that means no live classes, just working on their own pace from Schoology, unless they have a set thing or a special arrangement with their teacher. So some may have some things to do that day. Wednesday, March 24th is going to be a March Coffee and Conversation. So our next installment is going to be that same day. Slightly different time though, so we'll go into that in a moment. And spring break is going to begin the end of the day, March 26th, and go all the way through Monday, the April 5th. So that means that school reopens again on Tuesday, April 6th. Just keep that in mind. Norwood Bedtime Stories are going to resume after spring break, and just be aware of our school hours. 8:20 a.m. is when you can start for arrival, and for the virtual students, log in at 8:30, and then 3:05 p.m. dismissal for everyone, both those who are in person that day and those who are virtual. All right, going into our special area night, it's all the same information from last week, except for there's a new schedule that we have. So it's been broken down to grades and times of the evening. So between 6:30 and 8 o'clock, we're going to have these different events going on, and just follow the grid. So if you're a kindergartner, and at 6:30 you can either do STEAM, or at 6:50 you can do Jumprope, 7:10 you can go to the library with Miss Baublitz, or 7:30 music, and they're going to have special events going on throughout the night. So we don't want you to jump grades, so don't go from 6:30 kindergarten and then jump over to first grade and see what they're doing. Please stay within your grade levels, and they're going to be switching these up, as you can see, according to the grades and the times of the evening. So it's going to be a fun night. Just lots of different unique events going on. So check back with us if you have any questions. It's 100% virtual. So it's strictly a virtual. They log on to the specific codes that we have here, depending on whether it's Miss Long for music, or Miss Arlotta and Mr. Fig together for STEAM, or Jumprope with Mr. Ketterer, Miss Baublitz. The codes are right here, as you can see in this image. And we'll include that in the description of the video for this version of the flyer, of the newsletter. So now we have a new segment here. We're going to have every week with this newsletter, we're going to include a little social work corner with Miss Julian. So she is our school social worker, and she just wants to share some tips and resources about your child's social emotional learning skills. So you can feel free to refer to the written version of the newsletter to get more about it, but we're going to be talking about the zones of regulation. And that's basically to help talk about the emotional regulation processes, the way they're basically dealing and processing and identifying the different emotional states that they can be in. So, for example, your blue zone, you can be more sad, sick, tired, bored, or moving slowly, kind of sloth-like or down. Green zone is where you kind of want to be, very neutral, happy, calm, feeling okay, focused, ready to learn. Yellow zone is when you're kind of in some kind of transition or heightened sense, like you're frustrated or you're worried, or you're just wiggly or silly, you're excited, or you're losing some control. And red zone is when you're kind of at a peak emotional state that maybe is not so positive. You're terrified, you're angry, you're mad, you're elated, you're super happy, but it's very intense. Kind of out of control. So that would be the red zone. So that's when we talk about in our different sessions, we ask the students to have an idea about where they're at. So they're going to start getting some of this introduced and re-cemented, if they've already gone over it, in their classes through the social emotional learning components. So Miss Julian's going to be working with them, and this is going to be going out in various different materials. So if you see this, we just wanted to share it with you so you were aware and you had a way to see it here specifically. So refer back to a written version of the newsletter to actually take a look at this picture a little more calmly if you want to look at it. And try it out. Use it at home with your family to have some consistency, and see if it can help them learn and identify kind of where they're at, and then associate the emotions with that zone. All right, so we talked about also a spring fun event for the kids by the Baltimore County Department of Recreation and Parks. It's a spring hop along, and it's for the whole family, but everything's going to be socially distanced, and you're going to be required to wear face masks. So even the drive-through egg hunt, for example, or the displays, you can take a picture of the bunny, but it's all going to still be observing those rules. And the first 150 students are going to get a special surprise filled in their eggs. So check this out. We're going to include in the description the registration link, all the pertinent information, or in the written version, you can click and you'll be taken to the website. It's an Eventbrite page that you have to register for this specific event. And this is the one that is near us here on the Eastern Zone. It's going to be at Eastern Regional Park. So as for our March Coffee and Conversations, the next one's going to be a wellness day. It's Wellness Wednesday, and it's going to be, instead of in the morning, usually we had it at 9:30. It's at noon now, from 12 to 1. Now that we've had a change with reopening and kids being here during the day and accommodating different things, we've shifted our schedules even on Wednesdays a little bit too with the things we do here. So it's going to be from 12 to 1 p.m. specifically on Wednesday, no longer in the morning. And we're just going to be sharing some tips and overall wellness ideas and strategies, how to keep your mind, body, and soul or spirit healthy. So feel free to join us. We look forward to seeing you there. Just hop on to Google Meet as usual with the code Norwood Families. We look forward to seeing you there. March 21st to 27th of this year is Poison Prevention Week. This is a national week that was started way back in 1962, and poisoning still affects a lot of children. If it weren't for the fact that it affected children as much, we wouldn't really want to hit this point home. I know it's not a fantastic topic of conversation, but nonetheless, we do want to share the poison control number. This is a national number that has state employees that help participate and man it. So if you ever have any situation, God forbid, or nonetheless, if you just want to have it handy, be ready, prepared, that's part of what the whole drive is, to be prepared, to know what to do, because time is pretty crucial. So if you want to learn a little bit more about different activities and videos to share for your kids so that they can take more ownership and be aware of what to be careful with, as you can see even from this graphic here, poisoning comes through all different forms, whether it be wild animals, it could be natural things that our skin have allergies to, like poison ivy, poison oak, and sumac, household materials and supplies, medicine, all sorts of things can lead to poisoning. So it's really important. This is a special message from Nurse Debbie that she wanted to make sure that everyone was aware of. And there's some websites that you can follow up too if you want to get some more brochures or information about poison prevention and National Poison Prevention Week. So for those of you who maybe are interested in learning more about the vaccines for COVID-19, just know that Baltimore County Public Schools is not requiring anything relating to that. You do not have to show any proof of vaccination for COVID. You do not have to get vaccinated to be in hybrid learning or in school. We are not requiring that. Obviously, it is your choice. But if you have any questions lingering about necessarily, or you're just a little confused, you want to learn more, there's a lot of misinformation out there. So if you do want to learn more, there is a Radio 1 partnership between the Maryland Department of Health. And they're going to have DJ Persia from Baltimore's 92Q Jams is going to be hosting and moderating a town hall that's going to have a panel of experts. And so you can read more here and refer to this in the written version too. It's going to describe more in detail their specific roles, their organizations they represent, and a lot of them come from either the Department of Health or from distant health-related organizations and logistics. So this particular event coming up during spring break on the evening of Tuesday, March 30th, it should be a little convenient for families because not only is it during spring break, but it's in the evening. And you just go to Facebook because it's going to be a Facebook live stream. In fact, if you go and click on this link for the Facebook page for the Maryland Department of Health, if you just scroll through the post, you might be able to see some of the previous ones. They've already had some of these, and some were happening throughout this very week actually too, this past week. So you can click on that and you can see the recordings from some. So if you can't make it even, you could just check out the recording. It'll be there that you can still stream on your own time, even if you're not participating live. So the daily screening forms for students, remember, you're not filling this form out daily. This is a form that you fill out when they first come in and then at the beginning of the month, every month thereafter. So if you need a copy of it, if you haven't done it yet for the month of March, please make sure that you download. This is how it looks like if you're looking at it from a computer. But if you're looking at it from a phone, you might just see 3 bars at the top that you have to click on and then download. And from there, you just fill it out. You got to fill out every single month the emergency contact information at the bottom to verify so that we know we have the most up-to-date information, since things do change on a whim with a lot of families. Now, reopening information for Norwood, we've gone over this extensively. If you need to fill out a survey because you've changed your mind or you want your child to go to school in person and want to enroll them in hybrid, you have to click on this link to fill out the survey. It's also available on the school's webpage, but that's how you get it started. And then there's a lag of about 2 weeks before they can start. And the latest you have is until May 31st. After that point, they're just going to finish out virtually the school year. And we're going to have all these different resources here as always. You know, you've got the written ones, you've got the video resources, everything pertinent to reopening. So if you have any questions about any of these things, you can always reach out to us. But it's all here for your reference if you need to refer back to. Or you have a 3rd grader, for example, that's starting soon and you just want to get up to speed. Don't forget the classroom information is important because it has the room numbers that are posted outside when you come to pick them up physically and you don't ride a bus. You have to go to the room numbers from the outside doors. And they only have room numbers posted. They don't have any other information. So you gotta, it's like a key or a legend to know like which teacher corresponds to which classroom number. That's probably the most vital thing from the written resources there. Lastly but not least, the Stakeholder Survey. Again, it's BCPS's way of being able to get information from the community and from you, from parents, from students, from teachers, from everyone who works within a certain community with BCPS. So please take a moment to fill that out. They have it in multiple languages. It's either click on the homepage for BCPS and you'll see it there, or you can just click directly on this other link. It'll take you right to the survey, and then you just select the actual language that you want to fill it out in. It's not very long. Thank you all, everyone. Happy spring is upon us finally, and we hope you have a fantastic upcoming weekend and week. And as always, keep on learning.